Here we are with Pastor Dale Garland from Hemet Valley Baptist Church. A few years ago we met and we talked, and he came up with this concept of 4 churches planting one church every year or so. And so I wanted to interview him to ask him, what was the concept? Why did you feel like this is how we should plant a church?
Well, if you're a large church, you've got the resources just to go out and plant a church.
Right.
If you're a church about our size, which is about 400 or so, if you can partner with some churches, like-minded churches, you could stay planting a church continuously. So if you've got 4 churches and they're all dreaming about their communities and looking for spiritual holes in their community to place a church,
Right.
then you could be planting. My thought was that it would be every 2 years, so that you would constantly be pouring into a church. About 2 years, they should be on their feet a little bit. You start to pull out, and you plant a new one. And each of those churches, each of those church pastors have the opportunity then maybe to plant a church in their area or a place that God has put on their heart. And we just kind of take turns. But it always gives you the opportunity to be involved in church planting, which is really the way, probably the best way to grow a church is by multiplication.
Amen. Amen. So one thing I enjoy about this concept and this idea that we're implementing now is it has 2 factors to it. It has unity. So there's a unifying body of believers from not just one church, but several churches coming together to really bring the health and the strength to that new church. And so that's exciting. What's your hopes of the other churches that are involved? What do you hope that would come from them being a part of this?
Well, for some churches, they haven't planted before. And I just think it'll kind of get them the planting bug, that they get to come alongside, we work together, and the churches begin to catch the vision of local missions and of reaching out beyond the walls of your church. Kind of takes out that competition factor and helps us look more at cooperating to see the gospel advanced.
So as this rolls out, we have 1 that planted. Now let's look at 5 or maybe 10 years down the road. What do you hope to see happen 5 to 10 years from now with this happening each year or so?
Again, it's a concept of multiplication. If these 4 churches plant, well, whatever they plant is now part of that group.
Right.
So they're going to join in the planting. And 10 years down the road, we've got 2 groups of 4 that have joined together now that are planting. And you get to bring your plant alongside you, your planting pastor alongside you, to reach out and kind of do the same thing. And so you've got 2 groups, and 20 years down the road, you've got 4. And so hopefully it just sustains itself, because the best planters are those that planted, if that makes any sense.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Because they know what's there. They know what it's like. The other idea of bringing the 4 churches together to plant is that you're giving a new church planter 4 different perspectives. And you're meeting with them, you're counseling them, you're helping them, but it's not just one person now, it's 4 different people that all have different perspectives on church growth and church planting.
Right. That's good. So pray for us as we launch this out. Our hopes is for multiplication, not just addition, but multiplication. So continue to pray for this concept.